This story begins with our protagonist Suaharu Maru, who one day is walking down the street and encounters Shiruku Sakachi, to whom he compliments her novel. She gets excited by his words, and upon seeing her reaction, he realizes that he has met his first love. At school, we meet Haru's best friend, Kai, who isn't very popular with girls. Kai asks Haru if he will participate in the confession festival, but he's not interested until Kai mentions Kachi's name. This makes Haru nervous, and he starts teasing Kai. However, at that moment, Kusakachi appears, and Haru tries to justify himself frantically after overhearing their conversation. Kai changes the subject, and some guys are looking at photos of Kusakachi while she confronts them. Kai advises Haru to forget about Kachi because she is out of his league since she is very famous and he's not. While Haru is using a hammer, Kai suggests why not try going out with his childhood friend, Shida. This causes Haru to accidentally hit his finger with the hammer while they talk about how great Shida is. By chance, she is there and overhears everything, causing Haru to blush. This makes her group of fans angry, and Haru tries to escape, saying he's going to the bathroom, but Kachi confronts him, reminding him that he rejected her. Haru kneels and apologizes, and she asks if he's sorry and if he wants to be her boyfriend. He responds that he can't at the moment, but it seems to have been a joke. Suddenly, someone says that Kachi will start dating Abe, which saddens Haru. Shida finds him and starts comforting him. He apologizes for rejecting her and regrets it, but Shida hugs him and says it's okay. Even though she's a bit upset about the rejection, she'll always be there for him. At that moment, they come up with a plan to get revenge on Kachi. In the same chapter, we see Shida and Haru together, devising a plan. She suggests they pretend to be a couple to make Kachi jealous. Haru likes the idea but feels bad for Kachi. Shida says she is more than willing to do it because she will be with the boy she likes. She suggests they practice by kissing each other, but Haru hesitates as he doesn't want to cross a line, especially since he likes Kusakachi so much. He decides to escape the situation. Haru decides to find out more about Abe to see if he's a good guy, and apparently, everyone tells him that he's a good companion. This angers him, and he starts saying all sorts of things without realizing that Abe is overhearing him. He mentions that he knows him, or rather, remembers him as Suaharu Maru, the child prodigy actor. As a child, Haru was a good actor alongside his mother. Abe asks him why he stopped acting since he was his inspiration, but now he wants to surpass him, and to do that, he plans to confess to Kachi at the festival to destroy our protagonist's first love. This infuriates Haru, but he decides to participate in Kai's play. However, to defeat Abe, they need a good scriptwriter, and they agree that Kachi is a good option. Kai pushes Haru to approach Kachi and ask her if she wants to work with them on the script. She agrees, and they exchange numbers. Later that night, Shida is at Haru's house, tidying up his living room when suddenly Haru's phone rings. It's Kachi asking if they can talk, but suddenly Shida's voice is heard. This makes Haru nervous, and they decide to meet at the library the next day. Shida warns him to be careful as it might be a plan from Abe. Haru gets angry at Shida for teasing him, but Shida assures him that she will love him no matter what he does, which makes him blush. He teases her back, saying he will kiss her, but she tells him he doesn't have the guts and gives up. The next day, we see Kai and Haru practicing for the play, but Haru reads only a few lines and faints. When he wakes up, Kachi is by his side, and she gives him some ideas for the play. He thanks her, but Kachi senses that he was a child actor and wants to know what happened to him. He only tells her that as a child, he acted with his mother in a series, but his mother suffered an accident, and he became very sad, so he took a break. This makes Kachi cry and reminisce about her childhood when she used to watch Haru on television and the day she went to visit him, promising that he would act in a play she wrote. However, he never returned one day. and she promised to become stronger and more beautiful. Later, we see Haru and Shida discussing the plan to get revenge on Kachi, but our protagonist wants to try confessing to her instead. This angers Shida, but she still supports Haru. On the day of the festival, we see Shida dressed in a kimono, showing it to Haru. Suddenly, Kai tells him that someone is looking for him, and it turns out to be Shiro, an old friend. Haru greets him and reminds him of their promise to act in his novel, which makes Shiro very happy. However, it turns out that Shiro is actually Kachi, who reveals that she was annoyed from a young age by being mistaken for a boy, but she's happy that he recognized her. Haru apologizes for having abandoned her, but she's content that he didn't forget her. After this, Kachi meets Shida, who tells her that she is immature for believing that she will end up with Haru. Then, Shida and Haru take a walk at the festival and realize that there is little time left for the confession. Shida says that she will support him no matter what but becomes sad knowing that he will leave her, and she runs away crying. Once at the theater, we see a thoughtful Haru, ready to confess his feelings, but first, it's Abe's turn. Abe confesses his love for Kachi with a song, and during this, Haru joins in singing with him. Then comes the moment for Haru's confession. He admits that he loved Kachi, but ever since he found out she would be with Abe, he became depressed, and the one who helped him face everything was Shida. He surprises everyone by saying that he likes her, but surprisingly, Kachi rejects him with a no and a smile, saying they should remain good friends. This confuses Haru, and he starts shouting at the sky. Here, we see Kai and Abe talking, and Abe reveals that he sees Kachi as a sister and always knew she liked Haru. Haru tells Kai that no one has won, as seen by Shida regretting rejecting him. In the end, both girls wanted to reject Haru because of what he did in the past, and it seems that our protagonist suffered the most in this situation. The next day, our protagonist is still hurt by Shida's rejection, while she regrets turning him down, and Kachi is sad but still loves Haru. At school, everyone seems disheartened. Kai uploaded the entire play, including the rejection scene, to the internet, surpassing 1 million views, which angers Haru. Suddenly, another girl appears. She is Momo, a friend of Haru from the same agency. This makes Shida and Kachi jealous as Momo claims that Haru is her first love. Meanwhile, while Haru enjoys eating pizza, he meets Rina, who offers to help him with anything in exchange for money. At the same time, Kachi is searching for Haru to invite him to her house, as her father, an old sponsor, would be delighted to see him after a long time. To make up for the video incident, Kachi asks Kai to apologize on her behalf, but he informs her that she wasn't involved, making her nervous. They eventually reconcile. Shida arrives, and Haru becomes so nervous that he transforms into a monkey to hide from her, which amuses Kachi as now she can be the one supporting him. Shida feels very sad and leaves with a tear in her eye. Later, we see Haru throwing rocks into a lake while talking to Kai. Haru admits that he doesn't hate Shida now and believes it was karma since he did to her what was going to happen to Kachi. He wants to apologize to Shida but is afraid of being rejected again. When Haru returns home, he finds Momo there, ready to have dinner with him, as she prepared the food his mother used to make. Momo reveals that she scared away the press and internet as a favor to him. However, she then confesses that her manager plans to make Haru return to their agency. Suddenly, Shida's sisters come to Haru's house to inform him that Shida has lost her memory due to all the events that happened before. They say that they now eat like normal people and no longer mix different types of food. Momo appears and meets Shida's sisters. Continuing with the memory loss, Shida doesn't remember anything that happened at the festival or the rejection. This deeply depresses Haru as he blames himself. The next day, he meets Shida on the way to school, and she doesn't recall anything before his confession. She asks if she still loves him, but Haru is confused, making her do everything possible to regain his trust. Suddenly, a car arrives, and it's Kachi. She gives them a ride, and Haru informs her about Shida's memory loss, but she's not entirely convinced. Haru devises a plan to test if she has truly lost her memory. Shida has a traumatic aversion to octopus-shaped sausages, and if she has forgotten, she would eat them without any issue. To Haru's surprise, she eats the sausage without hesitation. Taking advantage of the situation, Haru invites her to the meeting he has with his old agency, but she declines after witnessing the struggles he faced there. Haru feels sad about Shida's memory loss, but she comforts him with a hug. Kachi and Kai appear. They recorded everything with a camera to see what Haru decides. During lunch, Kai proposes the idea of starting a Deep Blue channel to upload fun and unrestricted commercial videos, which will help Haru regain his popularity in a fun way. Kachi will assist with scriptwriting and planning. Haru loves the idea but must first visit the agency to see if they accept the proposal or join Kai's plan. Everyone gathers outside the agency to confront the director. The director asks Haru if he will come back, but Haru wants to combine acting with school. However, the director offers him 300 million yen in 3 years and Shida 100 million yen. Shida rejects the offer, but the president tries to persuade her. Haru dislikes this and accidentally spills wine on him. He becomes upset and threatens to call the police because of the embarrassment he faced. However, he realizes that an important visitor is about to arrive. Haru is very worried about everything that just happened, as rumors could spread to other agencies to prevent him from getting hired. The important visitor turns out to be Kachi's father, who wants an explanation of what happened. They tell him everything, but the president tries to play the victim. Momo suggests having a commercial duel where each side creates a commercial and publishes it on a website. If the producer's commercial is better than Haru's, Haru will have to work for him. On the other hand, if Haru wins, the producer will leave him alone and won't spread false rumors. Momo asks for an advantage, which is to make the commercial in a short period, and the producer agrees. Thus, the first work of the Ultramarine Alliance begins with a beverage commercial. As the days pass, Momo starts to recall her past. When she was very young, she hated everyone except her older sister because they ran away from home together due to many problems. Her older sister started working to support them, and Momo started acting. Momo watches the video they made with Haru, and while she likes it, she believes they focused more on their channel than on the beverage itself, so she thinks they might lose the challenge. Momo calls Haru, but he says they are recording and doesn't have time. In reality, the commercial isn't finished yet and has a second part. Momo watches the video and realizes that Haru has improved and returned. This makes her very happy as she now has someone to aspire to. In the end, they win as their video gets double the views. Kai talks to Kachi's father to understand his plans against his own father and collaborate with the channel. Later, it is revealed that Kai befriended Haru to defeat someone in the entertainment industry. Shida knows about this and asks Haru to join her in achieving their goal. The plan was to pretend to have memory loss to win Haru back and prevent him from returning to the agency. Later, it is shown that Momo transferred to Haru's school to be close to him, which makes Kachi and Haru jealous, leading them to chase after him. Hours later, Haru and Shida discuss what to have for dinner, but Haru discovers that Shida never lost her memory. Haru feels betrayed by Shida's deception, but she tells him she did it for a good reason. However, our protagonist doesn't understand and tells her she has a dark soul, leading to an argument, but he later regrets his words. Then, Kashi calls Kai to see if he is still allied with Shida, but he says no and that he will help whoever has a better plan. Kashi will do everything possible to win against Haru. The next day, the whole club organizes to choose their priorities, and the first topic is swimsuits. However, Kashi refuses because it's too much, but she doesn't want to use her veto to cancel the project. Instead, she wants to use swimsuits, and in the end, everyone votes in favor of making the summer commercial in Okinawa. Shida says she can't go because her sisters are busy, so they decide she can bring them and come later. They plan to shoot the commercial on the beach during the weekend, and everyone agrees to create memories in Okinawa. However, Shida reminds Haru that they have exams and can't relax too much. Momo wonders if they already know where they'll stay, and they will be staying at Kashi's father's private beach house. Apparently, it was Kashi's plan from the beginning to get the swimsuit proposal approved, which angers Shida. At night, Shida's sister, Ella, goes in her place since Shida is still upset. She wonders if they are fighting because Shida has been acting strange lately. Shida tells her everything and asks for her opinion on who is to blame, but Ella thinks she shouldn't give an opinion on that. However, Haru insists, and she finally says that both of them are at fault. She advises Haru to stop being so distrustful of Shida, that he doesn't always have to stoop to her level, and he should try to understand her feelings. Ella asks if he likes Shida, and he says yes, but in a hesitant manner because he feels like she might like someone else. Ella warns him to be careful because she sees doubts in him, and if someone is willing to stop their love, they might take advantage of Shida's absence. Suddenly, we see Kai remembering the day of his meeting with Kashi's father. He says he investigated and that nobody should know that she is Reina's half-sister. Once in Okinawa, Haru admires Kashi's beauty, and Momo's sister warns him that he'll pay if he makes her sister cry. While buying food, Momo says she knows how to cook, which angers Kashi, and they decide to have a cooking duel to see who is better. Haru is very worried about eating the food prepared by others, and Kai tells him he should also try the food. However, Kai refuses to do so. Momo's sister arrives to solve the problem and suggests making a stew, but Kashi doesn't know how to make it. Kai asks Haru if he's thinking about Shida, and when Haru asks what Kai would do in his situation, Kai says he would go for his harem without hesitation, making Haru regret asking him. Kai advises Haru not to try to please everyone and convince them, which Momo and Rina overhear. Rina decides to pretend to be a part of Haru's harem but make him choose her, even though Kashi and Shida are far ahead of her. Once at the mansion, Haru kneels before Kashi, thanking her for bringing him there, and they start organizing who will be in each room so that everyone can have fun without opposition. While resting, Haru gets thrown from the upper floor into the pool, and everything is recorded. Meanwhile, Shida practices the dance at her home to be ready. Her sister reminds her that Haru is at the beach, and she imagines him and everyone else in swimsuits, which makes her furious. Later, while everyone is having fun, Kashi tells Haru that she's wearing a swimsuit but is embarrassed to show it to everyone. So, she suggests they meet where only he can see it, and Haru rushes off without thinking. When they meet, Haru is surprised that it wasn't as revealing as he thought. It was just so that no one else could see it. Kashi proceeds to show him the bikini and sits on his lap. Suddenly, Haru's phone rings. It's Momo, asking furiously what they are doing as the whole scene with Kashi has been recorded. Momo is very upset about what happened. Later, we see Haru studying for exams and noticing that Kashi isn't doing the adorable dance. So, he tries it himself and shows his talent, making everyone feel bad. Haru tells Kashi that thanks to her, he can now dance without any regrets about her past trauma. He advises her to always dance and look with a smile because if she wants someone to notice her, she should be smiling. Later, we see Momo cooking her dish for the cooking duel, but they realize that Kashi is missing. Haru goes to find her, and she knows she can't cook the dish Haru loves, so she runs away. Haru finds her and tells her she shouldn't hide her weaknesses and should be more honest. She admits she only knows how to make fried chicken, Haru's favorite dish. After resolving their issues, they are about to kiss, but Haru remembers what Shida's sister told him and interrupts the moment. The next morning, Haru is sleeping when suddenly Shida arrives at the mansion. She asks if he has something to say to her, but Haru tells her not to use that plan because it's wicked. After that, they discuss the plans for the day. First, they have to practice the dance together, and they are surprised by how well Shida does it. Haru congratulates Kashi for improving, which Shida sees and feels strange seeing them together. However, she has a plan, which is to show Haru her swimsuit, looking somewhat conservative. Haru is taken aback since it's the first time he's seen her like this. Shida drags Haru and throws him to the ground, asking if he's angry with her. He tells her she hasn't even apologized for what she did. Suddenly, Shida pounces on him and says she'll say how much she likes him, multiplied by 10. This worries Haru about what's to come. An overwhelming wave of love hits him, and Haru goes crazy. Later, we see our protagonist studying with Shida, and he realizes that she purposely included the questions he doesn't know so he can practice them. He remembers that it was thanks to her that he got into the school, and that gives him motivation to continue with the exams. Later, they are setting up the stage, and Shida's sister suggests a great placement for the speakers, which impresses everyone. As it gets close to evening, Haru notices that Kashi is feeling discomfort in her ankle, but it's nothing serious, and with a cold compress, she'll be fine. At night, Haru sees Kashi on the beach practicing her dance, showing that she wants to prove to him that she can do it well, even with her sore leg. This deeply moves Haru as he thought he had forgotten his first love, but those feelings are back. From the balcony, Shida's sisters see Haru, and one of them feels something in her heart, but they know their feelings will never see the light as they don't want to interfere with Shida's life. The next day, the girls film a scene for the video, and it turns out great. Kai suggests doing another take, but Haru declines. As a result, Kashi steps down from the stage but feels something in her leg and starts falling. Haru sees this and rushes to catch her, but in the process, he fractures his arm. This saddens Kashi, thinking it's her fault. Back at school, Kai is with Abe, summarizing everything that happened in Okinawa. He tells Abe that he got what he wanted, but this time, the winner is Kashi because she has become closer to Haru and her attitude is more compatible with the protagonist. He prefers a carefree girl who gives herself completely rather than someone as direct as Shida. After that, we see our protagonist fantasizing about Kashi, and we realize that all the girls are helping him after his accident. However, neither Momo nor Shida can stay with him, and only Kashi will take care of him. She even calls a maid to assist. The maid comments to Haru that he shouldn't think he's a good guy but rather a player who is successful with women and that he's mistaken about Kashi's feelings. Later, Kashi appears, saying she has prepared his bath and is ready to help him. The next day, Momo wears the school uniform, surprising everyone. In the classroom, Kashi warns that anyone who harms Haru will face severe consequences. She also tells Momo to return to her own class. During lunch, Kashi feeds Haru, but he remembers Origi's words and becomes confused. On his way, he meets Shida, who asks if anything happened with Kashi last night. He tells her nothing happened, and they were just studying, which relieves Shida. Haru takes the opportunity to playfully confess his feelings to Shida, making her nervous. Suddenly, Kai interrupts them. It turns out a television network contacted them to make a documentary about the main character, from his retirement to his return to acting. Shida firmly refuses because she doesn't want her story to be sensationalized for television, considering the suffering she endured. Momo believes the network will likely make changes to make it more commercial, but Kai agrees with Shida and wants it to be as genuine as possible. Momo knows how these things work. Kai then offers a different option that she likes even more. They plan to decline the television offer and go in a different direction. The documentary will be similar to developing the climax of the protagonist in the play. He was too young back then to play a teenager, but now is the perfect time. Though Kai doesn't want to push the matter too much, he believes doing it will help them gain significant notoriety and can be used as leverage for future documentaries they hope to produce. He advises Haru to consider it and respond as soon as possible. However, not everything goes as expected. Late at night, Kai surprises Haru by sending him a photo. It turns out the magazine published the story after he retired, and everything seems to be the work of Kashi's father. Momo gets furious and wants to punish him for ignoring her advice and staying away. But Kai stops her because it's the right thing to do and seeks to avoid an even bigger scandal. In order to promote the documentary with a real story and prevent the magazine from spreading rumors at will, Kai offers Haru the option of using a company that contacted them to produce the ending of the series he starred in. Since they were part of the protagonist's life at various moments, the wafers have the ideal solution. They will serve as interviewers and investigate the moments they spent together. Kashi is the first in Haru's life, so the wafers visit him at his home to share old stories. Kashi gains much insight from these experiences because she couldn't leave her house, and Haru convinced her to visit the Tokyo Tower, showing her that she is also human and prone to making mistakes, but she constantly strives to improve. Although they couldn't go together in the end because Haru was too well known, he saved her during that incident. So, he seizes the opportunity to complete the trip by taking her to the Tokyo Tower. After this, Kashi thinks she has won by having the first date with Haru and starts imagining their next dates. In the morning, Kashi tries to wake up Haru, and when he doesn't wake up, she attempts to kiss him, but Momo arrives to stop her because she doesn't trust Kashi at all. To interview the protagonist, Momo takes him to a hidden place. On the way, she reflects on their shared experiences and reviews her strategy to win the protagonist's heart. Haru will stop thinking of her as his little sister when they talk about his mother, as she will be able to comfort him as a woman. Haru already knew that he would return to the place where his mother had the accident. Kashi explains that she miscalculated and intentionally hit her head to make the performance more realistic, but it resulted in the accident, and that's why Haru wanted to finish the series in her memory. However, he couldn't act again after that and, as a result, retired. Momo gets angry because she believes that if they had told her, she could have taken measures to help the protagonist, but she soon calms down and says it's not the time to fight. Haru's mother was the best mother she had ever known, so even though she can't help but cry from time to time, it deeply pains her to see other people go through the same thing. Haru can't stop crying as he lets out his pain together with Momo. The next day, Kai tells Haru that due to their alliance, the false rumors about him have faded away. Since they have to launch both the series and the documentary at the same time, Haru is still unsure of how to handle everything. Kai informs him that it's a closed case because Koroa and Shiro have already agreed and joined the cast of actresses in an effort to capitalize on their recent success with Haru. Shida returns home with Haru and talks fondly about their shared youth. She has observed Haru throughout his life, even when he was a little girl, an aspiring actress, a superstar, and when he left everything after his mother's accident. She never strayed from his side, especially after they graduated from school. Haru finally found a cave to hide and told Kashi that he left home because he couldn't handle the contrast when he returned to him. Caring for her younger sisters was a difficult responsibility for Shida, but it wasn't as challenging as what Haru had gone through. Haru thanks Kashi for always being there for him, keeping him grounded, and their bond strengthened throughout all that time. As the evening approaches, they sit together, and Shida confesses once again that she truly loves him. Due to this, Haru asks her why she rejected him before, and she explains that she did it solely out of revenge. The problem at this moment is that Haru is not sure of his own emotions because there are other girls around. Although he is in love with Shida, he is unsure of his level of commitment to her. Knowing this, Shida decides not to press for an immediate answer because it would be worse to make him her boyfriend when he feels insecure. Instead, she advises that they become childhood friends with romantic inclinations. The implication is that their relationship is too crucial to jeopardize with a failed love confession. They commit to staying together in the future, showing affection when things change, and knowing when they are ready when one of them requests something more physical, and the other agrees. Later, Haru successfully produces the documentary, and it becomes a huge hit. As usual, Abe visits Kai to update him and congratulate him on a job well done. They were able to thwart Abe's father's plan, and Kai tells Haru that he will talk to his wife in an interview, although Momo deserves some credit. Kai informs Abe that Kashi was the big loser as a result of all this. After Okinawa, she was in a position to benefit greatly. but she was forced to recognize that others were also considering Haru, so she couldn't capitalize on it. By admitting her feelings, Kashi made a brilliant move but chose to remain friends to stay in the picture without suffering any consequences. Kai believes that she could have done better since she would have already been Haru's partner if she had set aside her pride and apologized. The girls declare their intention to put the new admirers of Saharu in their place after learning about his growing fame at school. The fact that they all agree pleasantly surprises Saharu. After the credits, there is a scene where we see everyone in action, and Sharu's character, Ren Khan, wakes up in a hospital after spending many years in repose.